Media is just us. Join the hangout, let's make a fuss. On Ginger Media, it's just us. It's Friday night, let the laughter rise. And Ginger Media, we uncover the lies. Mazzy is okay, the voice that connects. Serious talk with humor that reflects. Exploring news behind every line. Friday hangout where the stories unfold. We'll dive deep, let the truth be told. From laughter to lessons, we learn and we play. Ginger Media, we light up your Friday. Cameras rolling, passions ignite. From Nigeria to the world, shining so bright. Entertainment flows through every decree. Celebrating Africa, come join the spree. Tune in and vibe, feel the beats. Friday hangout, where the stories unfold. We'll dive deep, let the truth be told. From laughter to lessons, we learn and we play. Ginger Media, we light up your Friday. Join in and vibe, let's make a fuss. On Ginger Media, it's just us. Join the hangout, let's make a fuss. On Ginger Media, it's just us. It's just us. Join the hangout, let's make a fuss. On Ginger Media, it's just us. Ginger Media, it's just us. Join the hangout, let's make a fuss. On Ginger Media, it's just us. Join the hangout, let's make a fuss. On Ginger Media, it's just us.
Welcome, welcome everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mazes. Okay, thank you very much for joining us this evening. I hope we we are all
It's Friday
doing all
night, let
right.
the laughter
So, guys,
rise.
I hope you've been
And
enjoying
Ginger
the music.
Media, we
That's
uncover the
our
lies.
Friday hangout
Mazzy
signature
is
tune
okay, the voice that
here
connects.
on Indian Media TV.
Serious talk
So
with
we
humor
will
that
this
reflects.
evening at the title project.
Exploring news
Say having
behind
your
every lie.
turn. You would have the opportunity to speak to us here in the studio if you so wish. And beyond that, we will as well be looking at a couple of issues so that we understand what things are. As you know, we explore the news behind the headlines. Now, let us start by saying if today is the first day you are joining us here, I would say please, 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 by every means, like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to us, I say please, please do like and subscribe. Subscribe to Ginger Media TV. Share so that we have these conversations, obviously, that you know that are geared towards us becoming a better people, exploring the news behind the headlines. Okay, people, let us start as it is. You all know that the Edo election is behind, it's tomorrow, for a very long time, people will be thinking, oh, when is the election happening? When is the election happening? And the election is, before us now. You know. However, it appears that some people are already jittery, right? Some people are already jittery. They want to employ the same thing they did during the 2023 election. They want to do the same thing, but I believe that they must know by now that Edo people know they carry loud, that Edo people are smart, right? Recall that during the 2023 election, there was a time that the PDP started circulating that His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi has stepped down. That was hours to the election. So the whole point was that, okay, people will say, he has given up, therefore he's no longer contesting for the election. In Edo, we're also looking at this today. Okay? So when you look at this thing, you basically you're looking at a people who are so how do I put that? Really, so who are so jittery of what is happening, right? You can see that they issued a statement today. Now, this is fake, obviously. They said 20th of September 2024, dear great people of Edo, decision to step down and support the candidate Aswa Egadalo in this Edo election. So this is not about we do not know who did it. This one, the person who did it is, or the party who did it, is very clear. The question is, why would they be afraid in the presidential election that the same strategy used in the presidential election is being repeated now? Right? Because it is clearly written here. It is clearly written here. First and foremost, I want to thank you for all your support and unwavering love, support, blah, 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 blah. And eventually goes on to say, I endorse the candidate of, PDP. Once again, I thank you for your overwhelming show of love and support towards this project. God bless you all. God bless Edo State. God bless Nigeria. And they forged signature. And eventually, it ended with Olumide Akpata. Now, my people of Edo, this is nothing but fake. In the voice of Wike will say, fake, fake, this is fake, fake. Right? This is what it is. There is nothing faker than this. This is the fakest as it can get, right? So bear in mind that this is not true, people. This is not true. There is no time that Olumide Akpata stepped down in any way, shape, or form. It's all fake, right? So, but thing that would really worry you is what is the reason, or rather, what could be the reason why they are this jittery? What is the reason why why are they this jittery? Yeah, why are they this jittery? Now, the obedient in that sense are then also responding to them and saying to them, remember, these are your sins, right? They said, these are your sins. And what are those sins of the PDP in this case? I mean, our job here is to bring you these things for you to really judge. Listen.
God forbid APC comes into power. I mean, nobody has done the kind of damage the APC government has done to this country.
As we look inside Edo State, the signs of bad governance they show everywhere. The yamayama wey Oyibo call COVID-19 come with wahala, wey tells the leadership of many, expose the big wahala for how them they run the state. Reports show say corruption full ground, wey tok say Governor Godwin Obaseki pocket money and palliatives wey dem suppose use help pipo during the crisis. For another case of corruption, federal government for 2024 give Edo State 20 trucks of rice to help reduce the people suffer, but instead, Governor Obaseki share the rice, him lock am down for im political campaign, leave plenty families to dey face hunger and wahala. As hunger begin hold the people, dem find where dem hide the rice and some hungry people for we state forget shame go carry am.
Edo State government is wicked. Look at it. This was right, they are supposed to be shared to the people. They didn't share it. They went to hide the truck here, behind the Better Faith Secondary School. Here in Oro.
Now hungry na cause and the country is too hardship, suffer. Person never eat. If you hear say as they wait food, you go dey beg. So that's why they go break that kind of place collect. Now hungry na make them do that kind of thing. Now hungry fit make person do wetin no supposed to do. One person no fit just carry that thing go keep, but that thing is meant for everybody, every citizen. Na e good for not be for one person to just keep am. They say government for the people and by the people. So they know say that thing na one of them they get am and they are right. That's why they go break am. So I no fit talk say wetin they do no good. Wetin they do good because that thing is meant for everybody.
Wetin we go do when we promise una? Continue from where our governor stopped.
The time don reach for Edo people to make their voice heard. On September 21st, make your vote reflect your desire for better future. A future where leaders dey stand by their word and put the people first before politics. Vote Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata and his deputy Alhaji Yusuf Asama Kadiri SAN. Vote Labour Party.
So you see, now this is as a response to the fakes that are going on everywhere. Now the question you ask yourself, obviously, why is it that, let me say this. For the first time, sometime last year, I missed my flight. I was supposed to go from Port Harcourt to Lagos. I missed my flight and I couldn't get any other flight that same day. So the next day there was no flight, available out of Port Harcourt. I was seeing like 182,000 just to fly into Lagos. I was like, haba now. And bearing in mind, the last time I used luxurious bus to move from either the east or any state within the south was in 2008. But I had to brace up. I was told that there is this bus, that they are as good as plane. I should go board them. And I was told, I think, about 27,000. So I paid. I boarded this bus from Port Harcourt. The first time I traveled from Port Harcourt to Lagos. And on my way, after we've gone past the east-west road, the roads were honestly terrible. Terrible. Telling you that was last year. But when we got to Benin, I'm not making this up. I mean, I started seeing big signposts. And you will hear something, you read, this is a federal road. I'm like, do you understand? Why would a governor in a state? I mean, honestly, I personally, in the last election, in 2020, was it 2020 or 21? No, 2021. I actually rooted for Godwin Obaseki. I may say that. I said he should be the why because he was the underdog. For some reason, I always preferred the underdog, right? And because of the way Oshomole was talking about him, and basically trying to become a godfather in the sense, trying to do a Lagos in Edo, And many people, myself included, said, no, 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 guys, this man has to stand. But seeing that signpost where a billboard is put on Bini Ore Expressway because it was so bad, and all you can say is that this is not a federal, this is a federal road. I'm like, Haba now, Oga, Haba. Your mates, they do road though. As bad as Rochas Okorocha was with his Chinese road that he did in Imo, when Rotimi Amechi did the LL to Port Harcourt Road and terminated it at Owerri, that is so Imo State, the boundary between Imo and Rivers. As bad as Rochas Okorocha was, Rochas Okorocha, that was a federal road, picked it up and moved it into Owerri. At some point, the only thing was, if you any of you driving this road will understand what I mean. In the River State section, the roads are actually dual carriage. In the Imo State section, is a single lane. But it's better to have a single lane that has, that is usable as opposed to, because that road will chop dust. I remember anytime I fly into Port Harcourt to get to my village, I fly into Port Harcourt and I would drive on that road. We chop dust where they come inside the condition set. As bad as Rochas Okorocha was able to do that. Rotimi Amechi, no brainer. Rotimi Amechi did like there was no tomorrow. In fact, let me tell you, in Rotimi Amechi's many sins, one thing you cannot take away from him is to do road and do it as if that is the last road he would do before he died. He was not afraid of doing roads, right? Obiano, the former governor of Anambra State. Some people will say, make I call on some certain names. No. But on a serious note, Obiano did some roads, federal roads. Even the Enugu, Oka, he had to do the flyover. Eventually, he applied to get the money back. Ngige did some. P2B did the head bridge into Onitsha. How many lanes? 6 lanes. A federal road, for Christ's sake. Well, here is a governor who is telling us that his hands are tied. I beg, if your hands are tied to do federal road, make we give you knife, cutter. Which kind? Cut the rope, not your hand. Before we're going to quote me. So when you look at all these things, you begin to understand the notion that things are not working because it is of course we know that the exclusive list needs to be unbundled more. But the question some of us actually are beginning to ask, even the ones so far unbundled, are the governors actually doing what they ought to do? Many of us may not know. If you don't, let me tell you that the rail system has also been unbundled and it's now in the concurrent list, meaning if the South governors want, they can do rail, light rail, moving from Benin to Port Harcourt. Nobody will stop them. But why is nobody actually talking about it? I don't know if you watch that video, you see the type of road that we had in Edo. But here, the election is here upon us. All we can see people do is to carry fake in the in the voice of weekend. Edo people. Time, you guys have to decide. Honestly, you guys have to decide. But let me say this to us. NECO result came out. NECO result came out. As NECO result came out, recall that during the time of P2B, Anambra became first in WAEC and NECO for a couple of years, right? Until, those people, took over. I'm not going to say anything. But this week again, look at it. NECO. Abia ranks first. Castina ranks last in 2014 senior secondary school examination. Abia. You're connecting the dot. Imo State is back on the league. Abia is back on the league. Because at some point it was like three states, Imo, Anambra, and Abia. But Abia is back on. Where what is that telling you? Edo, Edo, make una do the right thing so that you can, you guys can come back on the league. Right? Make una do the right thing so that you guys can come back on the league. Look at it. Castina, who president help? Sometimes it's just that obviously when you see someone that is competent, you basically believe that things can change. But if not, one can actually ask who president help, who governor help, but good leadership does help. Because Buhari, oh no, who wasted our time. Wasted our time for F wasted our time for 8 years. Look at the state he left behind. Buhari. Adibidibidibi. Just like I feel like calling him the way Tinubu calls him. Buhari. Buhari. Right? He wasted our time. Buhari wasted our time for 8 good years. 8 good years. He wasted our time. But this is where we are now. And there is a reason, in the words of what's it called? Yemi Osibanjo. There is a reason we are where we were. There is a reason, and that reason is not far fetched. It all starts and ends with leadership. That is a quote from Chinua Achebe in the book The Trouble with Nigeria. Everything starts, ends with leadership. However, even as we talk about leadership, that everything starts and ends with leadership, those at the federal level would also tell us, oh, yeah, they are doing, they asked for the vote. You voted them, and they are doing what you asked them to do. That's what Tinubu is telling us now. That he's doing that which we asked him to do.
And I can tell you, I didn't come to look for money. That is the situation. I came to work. I asked for the votes, and they gave it to me.
Some of you obviously
And I can tell you, I
immediately
didn't.
disagreed with him when he says that he came and he asked for the vote, that you gave it to him. I had you watching here and say, okay, who gave you the vote? Because why? It appears that he grabbed it, he snatched it, and he ran with it. Right? But again, do you think he's telling you the truth? That he came to work and not to. What is wrong with me? Why am I even? Why? My brain must be somehow, because my brain is already saying, what of the yacht? What about the private jet? What about the VP house? No, now, why would my brain say that? Don't you know that yachts and brand new private jet and those beasts of presidential vehicle, those are, when someone is so happy to work for you and doing the right thing, he must buy those things. If not, how can he drive to work? The one used by Buhari and Obasanjo, I mean, those are old cars. Don't tell him, someone who came to work for you, to drive in such cars. How about why not they think like that? So, okay, tell them again.
And I can tell you, I didn't come to look for money.
How can you say he's looking for money now? Wow, it's not good. I mean, please stop it. He didn't come to look for money. He told you that. How many times would I tell you before you understand? He did not come to look for money. I believe him. If you don't believe him, come here and tell us that you don't believe him. If you don't believe him, call me to say you don't believe him. You can call me on WhatsApp. Say you don't, call me. Let's see. Me, I believe him. is the president, so don't misquote me. I believe him. He didn't come to look for money. Which money? There's no money to be looked for. After all, the wife said that they are so rich that they can actually do nothing with their money. So how can you accuse him of coming to look for money? Hmm?
Look for money.
No, he didn't come.
I came to work. I asked for the votes. And they gave it to me.
Again, and you cannot disagree that he did not ask for the vote. He asked for the vote. Eh? In a London restaurant, he actually, told you if power is not given a la carte, you could grab it, you could run with it, you could do anything you want, and you're still not understanding it. So don't, honestly. So if we come back to Edo people, right? We come back to Edo, you will know what I mean. It's very simple. The election is happening tomorrow. Who are you going to vote for? Now, join me. Let's have this conversation. Who are you going to be voting for and why? It's a recall. You should know that this is a platform where we do everything possible. We are objective in what we do. We do everything possible to, in the midst of fake news flying here and there, to remain consistent, remain objective. So it doesn't matter who do you want to support. You can come tell us who are you voting for, right? You can let us know who you are voting for, who you will be supporting, and make that argument. Why would a political party be known in one pattern? At the presidential election, they use the same pattern to say people, oh, this man has left Labour Party and he's now in PDP. At the presidential, that was what they did. In the state election again, they are bringing the same pattern, the same format. But come on, the Edo people are so let out that they understand that this is not going to fly for the second time. You cannot say that, hours before the election. You see, that is sometimes how their brain works. They would always want to wait, just a couple of hours before the election, now to say, oh, yes, we are issuing this is happening, and the other one is happening, right? So that is it. Why would someone forge a letter saying that someone has left the party? That is unbelievable. If you ask me, that is really, really unbelievable that is happening in today's Nigeria. And meanwhile, the Edo people are really hoping that tomorrow is going to be their D-Day. Now, if you go to Twitter now, you see, like I said before, Abia State is trending. Abia State is trending for obvious reason because of what I showed you. That since this result came out, you can now see what the people are saying. Right? So now let's also look at what the police are telling us. The police are saying, if you cast your vote, right? Cast your vote, go home. I don't know if I agree with this principle of casting your vote and going home, but let's have a look. Because I don't know, how that would play out. You cast your vote and go home, right? If you now cast your vote and go home, what is going to happen? If you cast your vote and go home, so how does that help? Basically holding someone to
adjusted,
right? Let's listen.
To take that has to be adjusted in order to accommodate the concerns of our citizens. So to move movement,
which is from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Again, this also shows how responsive the Nigerian police force is. Originally, we we had a culture of commencing the restriction of movement from 12 midnight to 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. the next day. But in consideration of the concerns, the complaints of citizens, that has to be adjusted to take. That has to be adjusted in order to accommodate the concerns of our citizens. So tomorrow, it is important for parents and for everybody to know that if you are not accredited to carry out any of the functions relating to the elections, from you are not a personnel of any of the security agencies, the Nigerian military, that is legitimately assigned on this job and accredited to do so, you shouldn't be out on the street. If you're not a journalist that has been accredited to cover the elections, you shouldn't be on the street. If you're not an accredited election observer, you shouldn't be there. Just come, go out there, perform your civic duty, cast your vote, and return to your home.
Let me ask you, is there a reason why there seems to be some unusual presence of security operatives in some part of Benin City? And there are words around the city as to the presence of some politicians who are not from here, who are already in the city. Is there any particular attention to those who are politically exposed person and how they could affect or influence the election that the police is monitoring?
Shem, you understand that this is an off-cycle election, and this is one of the challenges we have to deal with. This is a reality of our politics. Whenever there is an off-cycle election, it simply means that there are a lot of spare hands from other states of the Federation. So you're going to have party members from all divides. Because if you look at it now, you're going to find sympathizers of all the main political parties contesting this election. You'll find their sympathizers in town.
And you have up to 1-2 armored personnel carrier in front of a residence of politicians in the city.
Now let me just make this point. And so 6 p.m.
Now, people, what do you think? Don't you think that Nigeria, we must come to a point? I don't know. Sometimes it's really hard to, say these things, but don't you think we've come to a point where we can actually do an election without locking down a state for 24 hours, without forcing everybody to sit at home? You saw the last election that was had in England that had people vote for the new prime minister. That was, I think, about 2-3 months ago. You saw how people went to vote. I showed us a video, just walking, just majestically. People went to work, finished work 4:30, finished work 5, 6, come back, walking. Just, it doesn't take you 5 minutes. You vote, you go home. And they vote. They are not staying back like the police is telling Nigerians to do, to go home. But again, they are not staying back because they believe the system, that the system is going to announce the right result. But on our own, we don't know. Even everybody is now an agent of the party, because you don't know, after casting your vote, you just walk home. There will be transmission, and suddenly your vote would amount to nothing. There is still that fear, and that fear is there every single day. That fear is still there, right? That fear is there. And you ask yourself, how are we going to get to the point when people or rather, when we are going to start having elections without the number of police that we see, the number of army, the number of these DSS parading themselves, shutting down a state for 48 hours. But it appears the reason is in one thing: we are not yet ready yet. That's what it is. We are not yet ready. Because why? Tomorrow, quote me and bet me on this. Tomorrow, join me. We'll be doing a live stream covering those states live here on Ginger Media TV, right? But quote me, you will still see people in 2024 snatching ballot. Quote me, tomorrow you will see people that will be receiving communal beating, communal blessing with slaps and elu elus because they will try to snatch ballot boxes. Tomorrow, quote me again, it must still happen. You will see mutilation of results the way we saw in the 2023 presidential election and the way we saw in Imo State gubernatorial election. Tomorrow, this same tomorrow, we will see a case where individuals would vote, overvote, and professors will read it out. After calculation, they will read them out. Why? Because as we speak, last minute conversations and lungu things are ongoing and people are being compromised as we speak, even with all these police that we have in that state. Sometimes the whole thing will just feel like you don't even you no longer understand. And some like one man will say that in fact without equivocation, this I say we can.
Today, I want to declare without equivocation.
Now, I want to declare without equivocation to you that tomorrow people will be caught with extra ballot boxes. People will be caught with mutilated results. Why? Instead of us to make progress, we didn't know that. Anyway, we were warned because there was a time this man was the president and he told us before.
ABC Nigeria from top to bottom.
See? Because eventually it means we are going from top to bottom. Mutani Nigeria ni Kagani. But the power to stop most of these things lies in the hands of the people. And the Edo people are
5 days it is a road. I know go back, I know go front. I know Giri to go back. I know Giri to come. The road you don't spoil. The people ask I know Giri to open the road. While I tuma no back, no foot, nothing. Government no look at the people. What you call government be this? I beg government the beg pays 5 days it is a
what did happen now? But government, I beg. I know 5 days. But we are here. Reach 5 days again. And we have been here in this Sapele Road. We've been here. Reach again. Now, how many hours? What's the time? Yeah, after 9. So, in less than 10 hours, it will start. Right? In less than 10 hours. So, let's join. In the comment section, we have shared the link for you to join, and I can see the comment section is busy and bubbly. Guys, thank you very much for keeping it. Daniel John says, "My good people of Edo, make una see how Abia look. Hold on. Let's get these comments in." Daniel John says, "My good people of Edo State, make una see how Abia look like right now. My own advice is to go outside tomorrow morning and vote LP Olumide Akpata, our guy, Mama Papa Pikin." So that's and okay, Daniel John again say vote Olumide Akpata. See, Daniel, you have voted twice. Are you trying to rig the election for Olumide Akpata? Eh? But here, you can't rig the election. But also, Tracy is saying, "Who is your guy?" Obviously, Tracy knows the song, "Who is your guy?" That song, "Who is your guy?" is accredited to only one person and one person alone, right? Uh, Ahmed Saliu, thank you and welcome here. And guys, if you also let me know where you are joining us from. He says here, Akpata is the best candidate if LP can defend its votes, LP first choice and PDP second choice. If truth be said, the there are only there are only two candidates in this Edo election, and the candidates are Olumide and that's why Gadalo. I mean, that's actually, you know, I think both of them are lawyers, and both of them they have something to offer. But if you look at it on the wider scale, you tell me, who are you going to vote for? Because the other one actually reached out. I said, "Can we have an interview?" This is what somebody said to me. Somebody where they run, where they run from interview. They say make you interview. I say, "Well, I don't speak any Edo language, but I can do the interview in pidgin." And the person was like, "How can you be saying you want to do an interview with him in pidgin?" But that's true. But do you know one? Did you also notice something that happened with this election? The state organized debate, both the PDP and the APC. They ran. Question is, we talked about this during Buhari. We argued it during Tinubu. Why would someone who is applying for a job, like now, for instance, the media is recruiting for a senior video editor and a script writer as well, and we're interviewing. I can't imagine someone who says, "I'm applying to be a video editor for the media, but I don't want to do interview." You can't interview me. Now you own the media. You know own am now. You want to be employed. Who go pay you money? Now Edo people. So Edo people now say, "Come, talk to us." Now you won't work for us, Abi. Talk to us. Make we ask you questions. How are you going to do XYZ? What is your stand on this? Nah, nah. You guys said no, I'm not coming. Come on. For me, even if you're the smartest guy, the moment you refuse to be, you know, if the moment you refuse to submit yourself to be questioned, the moment you refuse to come clean and say, "This is me, and this is what I can do, this is what I can provide," then that's it for me. You don't have it. You don't. Imagine in the last election, let's take presidential election. When we talk about competence, imagine in that election we had someone like Professor Yemi Osibanjo, and we had somebody like Peter Obi, and we have someone like Adewale, Kola Abiola. These are people that contest, Adewale of the SDP, and which other good party again, and Atiku may have run, may have 440 because he didn't attend the one in Lagos. But imagine you had people who are dynamic and vibrant say, "Okay, come, you must speak to us in this election." We would have had a different outcome because people would have come and shared their ideas, but not someone telling you, "No, I don't want to come on because if I come now, they will steal my idea and run with it." Sadly, We are now finding out there was no idea being issued, talk less of the one to be stolen. There is no idea. There is no idea. Nothing. Wike will say, if he didn't dare, he didn't dare. Now we are knowing he didn't dare. He didn't dare. Nothing. Even one of our brothers will say, what's it called? He will say that this is open.
Before I go on, let me postulate from the Franz Fanonian dictum, which stipulates that the dialectics of reconciling two conflicting ideas is the algebra of revolution. The overbearing intervention of the state government had further exacerbated oporombium.
See, the exacerbation of oporombium, whether that is ogo or periwinkle, I don't know. But the point here is, people, on a serious note, is that tomorrow is going to mark a new tone and a new beginning for the people of Israel. All I, in honesty, I'm rounding up now because I have another meeting coming up now, actually running late. But all I'm asking the people of Edo to do is, tomorrow, please make the right decision for you and your young generation. Please, I beg of you, tomorrow, make, while you're casting that vote, think about your children, think about their future, right? Will this person that you are electing tomorrow, will that person have the what it takes in case you're no longer here? Would that person, would you leave that the life of your young family in the hands of those individuals without blinking an eyelid? In the last 8 years, what has happened in your state, is this something you're proud of? If you are, obviously, I mean, it is your state. But again, let these last hours, last moment be a moment of reflection for you as to the future of your state. Your state is a macrocosm of the bigger picture of the Nigerian state. When things go right in your state, it reflects in the bigger picture. But you can know that the superstructure called Nigeria appears to be wobbly at the moment. Would you want your state to remain and maintain that lane of wobbliness? The right and the power to make that decision is yours. Your finger, when it touches that ink, let it go to the candidate that you believe is the right candidate for your state. The candidate that you believe that's not going to commingle your resources, take away your resources, go buy houses abroad where they pay cash, take away your resources and do things that are abhorrent and may no longer speak to you. If they don't speak to you before you hire them, what guarantee do you have that they will speak to you once they are in the office? The power to make that decision is yours. Edo people, I will be joining you guys tomorrow with a couple of team members on ground. We will see what we can do to bring you the live stream that many people may, on the conventional media, may not be able to bring to you. I am still Mazes Oka. Say to us, good night, and may we all sleep soundly and wake up tomorrow to do the right thing. Good night. Bye from here.